Developers of advanced personal navigation products is Mio-Tech, and Mio-Tech Europe. Joining us on the program, the president of Mio-Tech is Paul Notteboom. Did I say that right?
That's correct.
How are you, Paul?
I'm very well, thanks.
Glad to have you with us. And joining us as well is Iwan von Hende. I hope
correct.
I got that close.
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
And the business card is so far away from me, I can't read which. Oh, European Director.
Yes, PM Director.
Okay. Welcome to the program. Glad to have you both with us. I heard that Mio was the first to introduce PDA GPS devices to the general public. Is that, in fact, the case?
Exactly. We are quite a young company, and we introduced the first products in Europe in 2004. And like you just mentioned, PDA, we were the first one integrating the GPS device into there, which becomes a quite interesting product for the consumer.
Yes, for sure, because we always have our PDA with us, and if you can now utilize it for GPS functionality as well, it's certainly an advantage. Not another device, but the same device and the ability to do just that. Now, are you doing that with SD cards, or are you doing that as a combined unit, or?
No, we are depending on from an Asian company which is taking advantage of the latest technology, and we do implement this latest technology in our actual devices at very attractive prices. So those GPS chips were also a long-term development by our headquarter company, and we were able to implement this in a very slim way just back on the PDA.
Now, would that be this new unit that you're introducing here at IFA, the C620 GPS unit?
This was only the start. This was only the start. So this was up to 2004, and since that time we have been implementing also the first PND with a seamless map on Europe. After that we got on top of the PDA, we got also the phone integrated into the PDA and the GPS, so then you got everything all together.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we are quite proud to announce on the IFA a latest product, which is our Mio C620, and has 3D landmarks as well as elevation models. So you're not only navigating just on 2D streets, but you also see literally the buildings passing along your screen while you're looking in front of your window.
Yeah, some of my staff who has had a chance to see it, I had not been to the exhibit yet. I will go, but they said it is amazing to see as you're passing the Eiffel Tower, for example. There it is in 3D.
It is. It's really amazing what this technology brings to you, because what's happening is that you really see the 3D landmarks. These points are really recognition points for people who are driving in big cities. They don't know where the Eiffel Tower is. In combination with our...
Even though it's hard to miss, it's still amazing to see it in 3D on the GPS.
Example of Paris, when you see the high buildings, even if it's a big building, between your car is a low level and the high buildings you don't see it. But on your navigation system you see the direction where it's located. Next to all major 3D landmarks in Europe. So currently in our European product we have more than 1,000 3D landmarks spread over 30 cities, main cities. And this is still extending. By the end of this year, Teleatlas, our map provider, will have about 65 cities covered with about 2,000 landmarks. So that's really amazing when you drive around in major cities in Europe.
Oh, for
you
sure.
See everything around you without being there.
Yeah, exactly. And you're kind of taking the tour without having to be there, kind of a virtual tour. And then you really want to go and visit the cities because now you want to experience them.
Yeah, indeed. And I can show you how it works, and maybe it's hard to see, but here you see the elevation maps. You see the mountains a little bit. If you go really into the city of Bern, for example, you will see that. We'll switch to the 3D maps and turn around a little bit.
Okay, and again, while you're doing that, I'm advising our audience that you can always come by the website to see the video podcasts of all of our interviews, all of the guests here at IFA, and you'll see exactly what Iwan and Paul are showing us.
Well, what you're seeing here is a real 3D building, so it's the facades are there. You can just guide through that.
Yeah.
It gives you really a good view on the device. We'll also show you here the 3D elevation map where you see the mountains around you.
Oh, yeah, you can actually see the mountains coming up. I mean, there's a a church cathedral, it looks like, and it's all in 3 dimensions. So it truly makes navigation not only more interesting, but it seems easier to me.
It seems
if you know where these things are and you're able to drive past them or locate them easily.
On top of that, we have also integrated some level information which allows you to really see bridges. In the past, everything was on 2D and all streets were on top of each other.
Yeah.
When you're now on a motorway and driving to a certain location, you will really see that you are passing a bridge and driving under the bridge. That's really unbelievable. It's amazing.
And, of course, you mentioned working with TeleAtlas, the folks who are doing the data behind most of the navigation software. I would imagine they're going to be doing more and more of these things to enable these kinds of devices to truly experience them more. Right?
That's exactly. We work with partners, and TeleAtlas is a very important partner for us, which helps us to develop those features into our total solution. And we are not only a company taking advantage of latest technology, but we want to provide a solution which is really worth it for the consumer to take advantage of it. So it's not just a gadget type of product.
Yeah, it's one thing to do something that's unique and a fun feature, but is it really useful? This is useful. And it makes a difference. So the more you can do in GPS and 3D, certainly the more advantageous it is for us consumers.
Well, I think our major task is to make it easy for the customer to navigate to a certain location. For that, we have also introduced the pre-calculation of routes. At the moment you go to Paris, for example, he will immediately calculate you 3 different routes where you can choose of. For example, the fastest, the shortest, and the one with the less turns to make it more convenient to travel to a certain location, which is really new in the market.
Do you think this will be available in the U.S. as well at some point? Are there plans underway?
It will be available in Europe in October, and in the US definitely next quarter next year.
Okay, so here in Europe in time for the holidays, great gift giving, but after the holidays, hopefully in the US, and similar opportunities, I'm sure, with 3D, especially for the big landmarks initially, and then more buildings, more other opportunities as they become available, no doubt.
Once more, it is a question of making life easier for the consumer. And today, I want to make sure the consumer carry less equipment around him and gets more easy life to move into his life and get advantage of his free time.
Now, do you see this as being possible on the PDA type versions, or because it seems to be probably very memory intensive to do these 3D effects?
We managed to get it working on our current devices, so we didn't have to upgrade any hardware or memory for that. So that's.
And any pricing available yet, announced yet?
€499, including VAT, in the market in Europe.
Oh, well, there you go. Ready to go. Just under €500, so we can expect to spend a little bit more than that in US dollars when it becomes available. But I'll bet we can find out more information at Mio-Tech.be. As opposed to DE, most of the websites here for Deutschland, but BE, I'm going to guess, is Belgium.
Exactly.
Very good. See, that's why I get the big bucks as the host. I can figure some of these things out. Mio-Tech.be, and of course, U.S. websites similar in nature, I'm sure.
You go to the com site, and you will find every subsidiary worldwide from Mio-Tech.
Gentlemen, thank you for spending a few minutes with us, and keep making some very cool GPS devices, and we'll talk about them.
Okay.
Thank you very much, David.
We're back with more from IFA Berlin right after this.